The government is basically unfixable. It's good to have talented people in the administration, but at the end of the day, if you look at our national debt, which is insanely high, the interest payments exceed the Defense Department, I guess, sorry, War Department, and they keep rising. So I mean, I hope the birth rates turn around. I'm a big proponent of increased birth rate. I'm very worried about it. I think there's let's just say that the actions of the West are indistinguishable from suicide. So it's, and look, at least in America, there's generally a sense of optimism. But when's the last time you talked to someone from Europe who lives in Europe who's optimistic? It's rare. So I think unless people have a sense of optimism and purpose about the future, suicide might be just what happens. Like having a child is an act of optimism about the future. I think we need to maybe give people a sense of optimism and excitement about the future, and a belief that the future will be better than the past, and they'll be more interested in having kids. What we need is some coherent philosophy that people can get excited about. I mean, for me, it's a philosophy of curiosity. I'm curious about the nature of the universe, and I want to go out there, and I want humanity to be out there exploring the stars, maybe meeting alien civilizations. Maybe in some cases we see the ruins of a long dead alien civilization, but they were very strong for 10 million years. The kind of stuff that you see in Star Trek, in a non-dystopian sci-fi book or movie or show. And so I have a philosophy of curiosity of like, I just want to know what's going on. And in order to know what's going on, we must have an increase in the scope and scale of consciousness. We must expand as consciousness. We must grow humanity, and we must extend humanity in order to comprehend to understand the universe, or even what questions we should ask about the answer that is the universe. Douglas Adams' book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is actually a deep book on philosophy disguised as humor. And what the point he was trying to make in that book was that the questions are the hard part. The answer is the universe. Like, the answer is everything you see around you. But what are the questions that we don't know to ask? Now, some of the questions, I guess, I do know. I'd like to know, is the standard model of physics correct about the origins of the universe? Are we actually 13.8 billion years old? How does the universe end? Does it end in a heat death or in some other way? I hope more people can get behind a philosophy of curiosity, because I think it's very exciting, and inherently optimistic. Because there's this amazing sense of wonder about the nature of the universe, and when you uncover some secrets of the universe, that's amazing, and you're like, a whole world of understanding is opened up. I mean, we used to not even know where all the continents were. I think we want to try to reach new heights as a civilization.
Yeah.
So I think that it's fine to go to the moon, but we should go to the moon in order to establish a lunar base, like a lunar research base.
Yeah.
I mean, there are parts of the moon that are perhaps older than parts of Earth. And we might understand more about the nature of the universe if we had a science base on the moon.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. And then we obviously want to go beyond the moon to Mars, and build a self-sustaining city on Mars. I do think that that there is a fork in the road of human destiny where, if we can establish a self-sustaining city on Mars, with the key test being, if the resupply ships from Earth stop coming for any reason, does Mars continue to prosper, or does it die out? At the point at which Mars is able to prosper and grow on its own, the probable lifespan of consciousness is dramatically greater, because we are no longer dependent on everything going right on Earth. there's always some possibility of self-annihilation on Earth with the World War III, or a super virus, or a meteor like that destroyed the dinosaurs. We know from the fossil record that there've been many mass extinction events. So the question that I sort of am always wondering about is, will the civilizational arc continue to ascend such that we can make Mars self-sustaining before the civilizational arc descends? Because the window of opportunity to make life multiplanetary exists now for the first time in the 4.5 billion year history of Earth. The economy of the future, I think, is going to look sort of quite different from where it is today. And AI and robotics, in the good scenario, which we're working towards, trying to ensure that we do have the good scenario, there will be no shortage of products and services for anyone. Like basically anyone will be able to have any products and services that they want. That's the productivity gains from AI and robotics are just astounding to think about. Like I think it could increase the size of the economy by a factor of 10 or more. Like it will eliminate poverty, and it really will be in a situation where anyone can have anything they want. The bigger challenge may be finding meaning in life. So if a robot can do anything that you can do, but maybe better, how do you find meaning in life? That may be the biggest challenge. I've never seen any technology advance as fast as AI. So, and I've seen a lot of technologies advance.
Yeah.
So the rate of, I call it, and maybe this is a discomforting metaphor, but AI is a supersonic tsunami. Sounds a little scary in that way, but in terms of exceeding prior technologies, it's like a supersonic tsunami. And you really do need to pair AI with robotics. Well, AI safety and making sure that AI is aligned with humanity and wants to foster, grow, and better humanity. And basically, we want to be like, if you could look into a crystal ball right now and see the future, see the one. And so, I mean, I have this kind of like new term for the goal of Tesla, because the goal of Tesla previously was accelerating the advancement of sustainable energy, which is like a very good goal. And then the reason I pursued that rather than AI, because I could have pursued AI from the beginning, was because I was confident that sustainable energy was a single-edged sword. It was only a good edge, So we sure that we succeed in that. Like, okay, that's definitely good. Sustainable energy, by definition, is great. You got cleaner air, and and I can run out of whatever the source fuel is with a combination of solar, batteries, and electric cars. Then that's an unequivocal good. For AI, like I said, it is more of a double-edged sword risk. But I think it most likely will be good, and most likely will bring immense prosperity. And it's going to figure out how to cure every disease, and it's probably going to be awesome. But I think we need to be careful and not complacent, and we actually be somewhat paranoid to make sure that we have the good AI future and not the bad AI. So, I mean, from a Tesla stock standpoint, I think stock with autonomous cars and especially with Optimus, it does go to sort of crazy levels. I'd always recommend looking at Cathie Wood and ARK Invest's analysis. They've been right in the past, and I think they're right this time. And again, with a lot of difficult execution, I think people out there said, well, Tesla's valuation could be 25 trillion. And I think that's probably correct if we execute well on autonomous transport and Optimus. It actually does get to a 20 to 30 trillion dollar valuation. That's 20 to 30 times what it is today.
Everyone's cheering.
So, yeah. The math is clear. So it's just a massive amount of work. And but like I think if you do that massive amount of work, that's what will happen. So Neuralink's initial goals are really to help people who have, say, quadriplegic, tetraplegic, they've lost the use of their body, and to be able to enable them to control their phone or computer just by thinking. And I think we have eight patients so far, and all eight love the device and are using it every day. So it's helped a lot of people, and I think we're Tesla team, the Neuralink team is aiming to do about 20 patients by the end of the year, and then next year we'll be doing the blind sight implant, which will enable people who are completely blind, like if they've lost both eyes and optic nerve, and still be able to see. Interfacing directly with the visual cortex. So there are a lot of cool things like that. So the focus essentially is fixing serious medical issues and prove out the safety and efficacy, and then eventually, at some point, you could get cybernetic enhancements. So it could be something that massively augments intelligence and allows you to communicate at ultra high speeds. So it's very sci-fi, and it could even get to the point where you could upload your memories and essentially have a saved version of yourself, and then I'm speculating here, but then maybe download that into a cloned body, either a robot. I'm really getting into sci-fi here, but like download that into a robot body if you want, or a cloned version of your original self. You know, they've certainly made sci-fi movies, written books about this. So these are not new ideas. But I do think stuff like that will be possible, which would give you, I guess, a form of, or anybody wants it, a form of immortality. And to be clear, I do think these things will be available to anyone who wants to do it.
If you enjoyed today's video on Anonymous Official, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching and sticking with us.